Krishna, please take your seat. So, Hare Krishna. It's nice fresh air. We have good fresh air now. Let me ask you now, do you have any questions regarding what you have heard, or any other question you would like to ask? This is a good time now. I see Sadashiva, I saw you first, and Madan Mohan, Punya Bihari, then Krishnalaya, Shrisha, Jayagopal. If you can remember. Yes, please. Sadashiva.
I have a question regarding the construction and deconstruction. I was wondering how you can factor into that your commitments. It seems that it opens the door a little bit to selfishness, that you think, oh, this doesn't feel right, I don't know if this is for me, I just change my life all around.
It would actually be nice to have a microphone. Gaurahari or Peter, is it possible? We have. Then it will also be recorded what the devotees say. Now I will repeat the question. The question on this deconstruction and construction, could that not affect the commitments which we have earlier given and open the door for just anything? See, commitments are something which should never be changed. This is the idea of a commitment. Commitment is, come bad weather or good weather, I stay with that commitment which I have given. Ideally, for instance, what comes to mind are initiation commitments. We are asked by the Hari Bhakti Vilas to study if we want to take initiation for 1 year minimum, where we test the Guru, and the Guru tests us. That's a minimum time. In my mind, in the Western context, it should take longer, much longer, 5 years, I think, 4 years, because. But then, when we are ready to say, yes, now I can give a commitment, then we should be committed. Another example in our tradition is marriage commitments. I can imagine, because Grihasthas talk to me, that sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it can be so difficult that each one comes to his limits. But the idea of a commitment, like sacred marriage commitment, is that I will grow if I go through this difficult time. So, therefore, one should not be too fast before one makes this commitment. One should see if I can make such a commitment, yes or no. There is a great benefit which is waiting for us when we keep our commitments. We grow and we become strong inside. When we break our commitments, we become weak. And whatever it is that we are doing, we will not do it 100%. And we could be any moment in a total different situation. Just jump. I think we know these persons who are not committed, for instance. You know, you cannot give them a service, or you have to always, every word you speak, you have to think 50 times, can I say this word? Or maybe I must take another word, because it's just so shaky, the relationship, that you, anything could just throw it off balance. Committed people are strong. Committed people grow. and learn very quickly in life. Uncommitted people always start again and again and jump and jump and jump and jump. But before you give a commitment, you should see, you should not give a commitment because your friend has given the same commitment. You should not give a commitment because it's a fashion or a group does the same thing. You should make a commitment which has grown on the soil of the Erde, of your own understandings. And because once you have given it, that should be kept. When I spoke with deconstruction, I was thinking about concepts which we surround ourselves, ideas, and so on and so forth. Many of you have a lot of concepts which engage like chirps. Today it's this concept, then it's that concept. And concepts are like this. They can be changed when we change our t-shirts. But they don't serve us well when it comes to leading a responsible life. Then we must act upon realization and find our authentic path. Yeah? Good. There was another question. I think Madame Mohan, you will get your microphone now.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for these points before. I have a question in this regard. The Shastras are full of statements that the instruction of the Guru should be our topmost goal and we should follow it 100% with full faith. And but at the same time, the question is, what do you prefer? That we act like this, like the Shastras, or that we first try to ourselves come to a conclusion about a certain situation and then maybe verify with you if we are on the right path? And in case you give us a certain instruction and it doesn't feel authentic for us, is it okay to come back to you and double check, or should we then really with full faith say, okay, that was the instruction of my Guru?
It would help me very much to have your question on paper before because it had many possibilities.
Should I repeat? I wrote it down also to not...
Why don't you go just the first and I answer one by one?
Okay. The first is, what do you prefer? That we ask instructions from you and follow it with full faith? Or that we come ourselves to a certain conclusion and then verify with you if we are on the right path?
It's not one or the other. It is sometimes one and sometimes the other. In other words, there are situations where we have a certain situation in our life where we don't really know and where we feel this is something I need a higher perspective now. Then I present the situation to my spiritual master, and he then looks from a different perspective and says, I think this should be done. And then if we feel, this is not practical, or it does not work, it's very important that we say it immediately. Because maybe while he had a certain perspective and looked at it with one perspective, he lacked just one information which we had not given him, or he has not considered this in this point, which we will face when we do this. So then we can say, what about this point? And then he will thank you that you said this, yeah. And then he will widen his, make it more specific or whatever. This is one scenario. we come to a situation where we need a higher perspective. That is the first scenario. The second scenario is there is something which we want to do, or which we feel is a good program, but still we would like to have also his input. Then we, this sounds like the same scenario. Okay, that is already covered. That is already covered. I wanted to. I made my first statement so general that it includes what I want to say now. So let me make my first instruction more specific, so that there is also a second scenario which is not included. Then there is a situation where we don't even ask for an instruction, but our spiritual master comes to us and says, I watched you, I saw your life, I think it's time to move. Okay. Now, if such a thing should happen, I have only done this 10 years ago one time, and it was really good, it helped the devotees, then that is one thing. We should consider it. We should definitely discuss it. I will come to it a little later. This discussion point is so important. But now the second scenario. We want to do something, and we should explain our spiritual master the different things, the different points, the different situations, and get his vision. I will present to you in a moment at the end of the disciple at the meeting a magician. We will do some magician here. I have a disciple who is a magician. He can let you all disappear and bring you to Africa. He will do that, and then after 3 minutes call you back to the room again. I will give you the chance to leave the room before. He presented a program on magic to me, and I said, is that all right? Is that in tune with Krishna consciousness? And we will see. We will see. Let's hear it. It's a carefully formulated plan. It has all the aspects of the program, and he is now wanting to have my advice. And I answered your question. Hopefully.
Yes, actually both of them, because yes, this double checking, you invited us to double check in case we don't feel it authentic to ourselves.
Yeah, this is the next point I wanted to talk more. Please, 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 can I add 1 million more please to this? When there is something which is an instructor, which I say, and it should not work, please immediately report and not do it just because you were told. This is absolutely wrong for many reasons. First of all, it never works. Second of all, it is not the interest of this relationship. When the Guru says something, doesn't work, and then just because he said it, and he's so proud that he cannot face reality, it has to be done. He's not a proud practice. He's not consciously, we all are proud people, but you must come back. It is absolutely required. It breaks relationship if you have that concept in your mind. He said it, now I must do it. And I heard from my father something which just I never forgot about it. There was one commander in the army, German army, who was just so inconsiderate. He sent his, there are different hit teams. If you want to know the details. 36 people like this, who are sent to do something which to get a breakthrough. And my father was in this one team, his team, and the commander said, you need to now shoot the way free so that we can follow. And the opponents were all in the church and was shooting from the church. So he ran, my father ran with 36 people, but there was no place where they could get cover. You know, cover. And also this commander hadn't given them enough munition. Ammunition. So he ran with all his people because you had to do what the commander said. And he saw all my people, all the 30, only 5 of us are left, and still they were fighting. But then the munition ran out, and then my father said to his five people, let's run back, let's save our life because we can't do anything. So they came back to the commander, but told the commander it didn't work. You didn't give us enough munition, and it was anyways too dangerous. There was no cover. And so we ran out of ammunition, and now we're back. What's the next order? Do you know what the commander did? Took his pistol and killed everyone except my father. He said, you have not